Mel, first of all, thank you for having me here in this beautiful building. Could you first explain what is Etex all about? What is the core business of Etex?
Thank you very much, first of all, for these discussions. Etex is a family-owned business started in 1903. A leader in building material. We are established in around 45 countries in selling plasterboard, fiber cement. We're selling insulation, and also we're selling fire protection boards. We are basically a B2B company, close to 3.7 billion sales, with around 15,000 employees throughout the world.
And you, Mel, you are the CFO. And I need to congratulate you because last year you were being awarded and nominated and awarded as the CFO of the Year. Why do you think you got this nomination and you got this award finally, or the final?
Very difficult question. I think there are basically three dimensions which explain this nomination. First of all, the financial track record of Etex. I would say under the leadership of an executive team of which I have been since 2015, with regular progressions of sales, EBITDA, reductions of the net debt, improvement of the margin. So a very regular track record, which, by the way, has been confirmed in 2022 because the award took place in and that has continued over the years. First of all, the financial track record. Second, the strategic transformation. So we have sold a number of businesses, including some roofing business, tiles business, because we thought that from a sustainability point of view, this would not be compatible any longer with the long-term vision of the company from a sustainability point of view. And we have reinvested, for example, into insulations by acquiring Ursa by close to 1 billion euro in 2022. So clearly, this strategic transformation has been recognized by the jury. And the third dimension is probably the one which has made the difference, because I was competing with extremely successful, even more successful than me, CFOs from a business point of view. But I think it's the people dimension which has made the difference, in the sense that the jury probably saw that I have a real passion for my teams. And the way I'm involved with them, the way I consider it was not really me winning, but the team's winning.
Was it always your dream to become a CFO from early start?
It's a good question. Well, let's say not originally, because I started in investment banking. So I did not start in audit as many of my colleagues. I started in investment banking, but I had quite early on an interest for industry. So I moved to the industry, and therefore very quickly I was offered the positions of CFO of a local business in the UK, and that's how I started my career as a CFO. So it's not something I had been dreaming on early on, but I felt it as a natural evolution after having worked in investment banking.
The reason why we are here also is to discuss about people management. As a CFO, you are one of the CFOs that I know is highly interested in people management overall, and also in developing talent. Why are you so keen on focusing on your people, Mel?
Why? Because first, I received a lot. As a young professional, as a young CFO, and then evolving, I have seen many people handing their hands and helping me to move to the next steps, trusting me. Very early on, I felt the need to give back, on the principle that it's never the same, or very rarely the same people who are helping you, who you will be able to help back. Sometimes it happens, but it's the principle that you help somebody, and that person will help somebody else, and that human chain works, I think, pretty well. I felt that in my position, not as a person, but as part of the companies I was working for, without the involvement of those young professionals, the company, not just me, would not be successful. And it's with the bringing those talents around the table, making them part of important decisions, give them their responsibility, trusting them, you see an acceleration of motivations, which is 10 times what the trust that you give them. They give back by their energy, by their passion, by their sense of solidarity also, because they're helping each other. They're helping each other because they know that's, very classic principle of a football team. And again, I'm not a football expert, but I always see that a team where you have 11 good professionals is much better than having 11 stars in the same team. And this concept of winning team is something which is very close to my heart. When we are often involved into games, where you have to and you have to select a few people, in a corporate event, and you have to choose a name for the team. And I always choose the winning team. No, I don't win each time, but at least I give the sense that I'm a team with who I want to win. Will I win each time? Not necessarily, but at least I give that from the beginning. And that creates a kind of a sense of fun. And fun is important. Fun is very important. You don't bring young people on board if you don't give them sense of fun, sense of humor. Sometimes self-derision helps to bring you, at where you should be. So not necessarily at the top, but we have ups and downs, and that sense of we're all together in one boat and we're going to win together with our strengths and weaknesses. I think I felt it as something very strong throughout my career.
And I know by experience that you also appreciate the approach of assessment and development centers for the development of your team members and your talent. Now, why do you appreciate it that much? Because you keep us asking to do these kind of as development centers for your team.
I think it's all started a few years ago in another company than Etex, where I was thinking of promoting somebody in a position as a chief information officer. He was an American and was recommended by his boss. And so we decided that, it seems to be a good idea. But we decided to do an assessment to confirm, that it was right. And the assessment was going in the opposite directions of our intuitions. And we did not listen to the assessment at the time. So we went over, we said, thank you very much, that's an interesting paper, put it aside, and we promoted that person. That was one of the biggest disasters. So that was a very interesting lesson for me, that it was time to listen to professionals who are doing objective assessment and who have such a knowledge of people, such a knowledge of psychology, and such a large range of people they have been interviewed one way or the other, that they were better equipped than me to be able to do those assessments. Since I have been impressed, and I can say also by the quality of your assessments, because it's what is very interesting is the combinations of three things: is the written assessment of the documents, but also the discussions which take place after the assessment, both for the person who has been assessed, as well as the person who wants to promote or hire the person, as well as the complementary view from the people who have interviewed the person, and and it's all the different colors which are brought around the person from the the interviews, or the discussions which took place with the people who interviewed the candidate, combined with the written assessment and combined with the personal discussions I have with the person who has done the assessment. And it's the combinations of three which then give the best picture, imperfect by definition, but sufficiently clear on, first of all, is the person the right candidate, and how this person compares with other candidates, because the assessment also is very useful when you have several candidates, several good internal candidates or external candidates, and you are hesitating, and the assessment is a key tool. And it's a key tool which I think we should not rush an assessment. We should read it, absorb it, discuss it, put it in perspective with the other feedback we have received. And this global picture, like an impressionist picture of different colors and nuances, which then give the comfort that, yes, this is the right person, or this is not the right person.
What kind of advice do you have for talents who are aspiring a role to become CFO one day, for instance? What would be your advice to those young people looking at you and thinking, how on earth am I going to get there in CFO role of such a large corporation as Etex?
A few advices. First of all, making sure that you combine a mix of corporate role and role in the business, so that you know the experience of not just being a corporate guy, but also going on the field. That means being a plant controller or a sales controller or CFO of a business unit in either one part of the country or ideally abroad. Because that's the second dimension is, if you want to become CFO of an international group, having at least had an experience abroad is helpful. Now, is it necessary or compulsory? No, but it's certainly an important dimension. I would add the other element is making sure that you have, of course, people management experience. It can be a small team, it can be a big team, but having that interactions with people who you are in charge of their career is an important dimension. I would add another element is the ability to understand that it's a long road with successes and failures. It's a track which takes some time, and you need to learn from your failures or what did not work as well as expected to be able to get to the top. And that will be maybe my final advice is, don't stay in the same company for 35 years. Although I would love all my Etex teammates to stay as long as possible within Etex, if they really, some of them or outside people wants to reach the CFO position, they will have to accept that probably they will have to go through 1 or 2 or 3 steps of companies outside their original company to be able to reach the CFO position.
Mel, sincerely thank you, and I'm sure the watchers will highly appreciate this very enriching conversation. Thank you 1,000 times, Mel.
Thank you, Koenraad. I was delighted to have that discussion with you.